Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
How's it going?
It's going. It was a busy day yesterday.
I know. Tell us about the events of yesterday with the Noah case.
It all began in the morning time. They had a meeting at 9:30 down in Brunswick, Georgia, the DA's office. We weren't privy to that, but District Attorney Keith Higgins and Sheriff Chuck Mosley were on hand and met with the Bush family and the Bush's family's attorneys. It's a Bozeman law firm out of Savannah, Georgia. And then that meeting lasted from 9:30 past almost up to 1 o'clock. And apparently in that meeting, from what the attorneys told us yesterday afternoon, was that they were privy to a lot of information, a lot of videos, a lot of documentation. And the attorneys and the Bush family know a lot more than what we know, because the media wasn't privy to that. But
and the reason why the media was not privy to that, because it's cases involving minors.
Juveniles, right?
Yeah.
But after that meeting, then the press release came out about 2 juveniles being charged in the connection with the death. Again, we're talking about a 11-year-old child who's been charged with simple battery, involuntary manslaughter, concealing the death of another, and criminal trespassing. Second young child is a 10-year-old child. His charges are concealing the death of another and criminal trespassing. So those charges in this press release was released around 1:30 yesterday afternoon.
Okay.
Once those charges were filed, as I mentioned time and time again, the juvenile court system is a lot different than the adult system.
Okay.
So once those charges were filed, they had a detention hearing to determine what was going to happen to those 2 boys that were charged in this. And this took place yesterday afternoon, beginning at 3:30 in courtroom C here in Wayne County. And on hand at that meeting were the 2 boys and their families and their attorneys. The assistant DA, Chrissy Boyles, presented the state's case. Lead investigator Stephen Crane of the Wayne County Sheriff's Department was the main witness. He was on the witness stand for close to 2 hours. He was on the witness stand. Jerry Caldwell is the juvenile judge. He was there, and all this took place yesterday in courtroom C from 3:30 and lasted till about 6:30. So we just waited outside for it to get over to find out.
You just waited 3 hours.
Right, to wait to see what the result was. And what the result was that the judge determined that there's enough evidence there that this needs to proceed to the next step. And then they had to decide what they're going to do with these 2 juveniles. Well, the decision was made that bond was set. One's got a $10,000 bond. One's got a $5,000 bond. If I understand the attorneys right, they were both cash bonds. But the family couldn't post that bond, so they were sent to Youth Detention Center in Claxton, Georgia, and that's where they are currently. But apparently this process is going to move quickly. There's going to be another hearing within 10 days is what they tell us. So again, that all took place yesterday afternoon. Appreciate the attorneys talking to us. I invited the attorneys to the Butch and Bob Show, gave them all our information. So if we line that up, we'll make sure we let people know that they're going to be on our show. So,
well, there was a good interview that you had with them we aired during our local newscast around 7:20, and it gives an insight from the attorneys on what exactly is happening here. And these attorneys represent who now?
Noah Bush.
Noah's Bush's family. Okay.
And like I said, he in that interview gave a lot more information. But like I said, they were privy to that information because they got all that information at the meeting yesterday morning down with the District Attorney Keith Higgins and Sheriff Chuck Mosley. So they were showing videos, and apparently there's a video of one of the juveniles stating basically what took place that day.
Kind of confessed.
Right. And again, I know this is going to fall on deaf ears, but if I can get one person to listen, all these people on social media from day one, please stop. All the false information that was given, he wasn't beat up. He didn't have a broken neck. There's a report on social media he didn't have water in his lungs, which he definitely did because he drowned. I mean,
people just make stuff
all
up
this
and
information,
put it up on social media. It's a cesspool.
They're not helping.
No.
So if I can appeal to if I get one person, just stop. You're not helping the situation. It's just, it's really sad because everywhere I go, I get people coming out. Well, I'll read on, and I just shake my head.
I don't know why people think when they read something on social media or Facebook or Twitter or any other social media platform that it's true. I mean, there's people who put stuff on there is not responsible to anybody, not like you and me and newspaper and TV stations and stuff like that. We're held liable for all that, but other folks can just put stuff out there as they want, and you know, people believe what they want to believe, and they'll say what they want to say, no matter what the truth is and what the facts show.
And also, I wanted to dispel one narrative that's been constant, and unfortunately from the family of Noah Bush, and that is that they've been kept in the dark and not kept up to date with the investigation. I'm here to tell you that's just flat out not true. Noah Bush's mother has been kept in the loop, has talked with lead investigator Stephen Crane numerous times, has talked with the sheriff numerous times, the district attorney numerous times. All that's documented. They've got all that information. I mean, they have been kept up to date with, you know, where this is going and things like that. So that's been a narrative that's been out there from day one. But again, I'm just telling you, that's just not a true narrative. The family has been kept in the loop from day one.
And the two juveniles, one's 11 and one's 10, is that correct?
That's correct. One's 11 and
tell
one's
us,
10.
the 11-year-old was charged with what?
The 11-year-old's been charged with simple battery, involuntary manslaughter, concealing the death of another, and criminal trespassing. The second juvenile has been charged with concealing the death of another and criminal trespassing. Again, talking to the attorneys and talking to the Bush family yesterday, they're not satisfied. You know, they think there's more to come. They definitely want the parents of these two juveniles charged with concealing the death as well, because if you remember the story, and we talked to the mother, had her and talked to several family members, the night this took place, they were pretty much led on a goose chase by these parents of these two juveniles who were involved, saying, go see so-and-so, you know, because they kept asking, where's Noah? Where's Noah?
And that came from Noah's mother, right?
Right.
Yeah, she's the one that said all that.
Yeah, they got sent on that. So they feel like the parents of these two juveniles knew where Noah was that night and just didn't reveal that information. So they want these parents charged.
If they're charged, you're going to be charged. You said concealing the death. Is that what you're saying? Do you know why that when you were talking to Noah Bush's family's attorneys there, did they give a reason why nothing's been charged yet with the?
I asked him. I asked him in the interview. You know, they said they asked that question, but like I said, thus far those charges have not been filed. Also, they feel like this is a murder. You know, they don't agree with the charge of involuntary manslaughter. They think the charge should be murder. So, again, so that's.
I guess it's harder to.
That came from the attorneys, like I said, they've got more information. Like I said, that meeting in Brunswick, a lot of information was shown to them that no one else knows about.
Yeah, because it was just held in with the family and the judge and the attorneys.
They have a lot more information on what took place that day than we do. So. But like I said, this is a juvenile case, and like I said, we're trying to conceal the names of these two juveniles. Like I said, a strange event took place yesterday during that 3-hour proceeding in court. One of the mothers of the juveniles, one of the mothers of these juveniles was arrested in court and charged with truancy, where she didn't have her kid go to school. The kid missed 83 days of school this past year. So
that was revealed.
That was revealed. They went and arrested her right there in court, and so she's been arrested. But we have her name. But again, if we give her name, then they're going to know
who the child
is, and we're trying to
shield their identity.
I'm sure that information is going to get out, but I just don't feel comfortable giving that information out because we're trying to keep the names of these juveniles, you know, not. You know,
I understand.
You're not allowed to release them.
We're not allowed to release the names.
Right. So
that's how, you know, mainstream media, like radio stations, TV stations, newspapers, and stuff like that, we have to abide to those rules and regulations. Where you're going to hear all kinds of stuff in the cesspool of social media.
Right. And like I said, we've been following this from day one, and we said from day one, as soon as information would be able to be released, we'd get it from the sheriff, and the sheriff kept his promise and notified us as soon as those charges were filed yesterday and let us know about the hearing yesterday afternoon. So, again.
And what is the next step in this case?
They're talking about another court proceeding within 10 days. They'll have to come and, you know, I guess make a plea. You know, how do you plead? You know,
Right. They've been charged. They're in the youth detention center in Claxton, so they come back and be maybe a sentencing. Is that correct? Or
I said the next step would be, you know, how do you plead?
How do you plead? Okay.
And
how do you plead, and then from there?
Right.
Okay.
They both have counsel, so you know their attorneys were present yesterday with those juveniles. So,
okay.
So I say we'll just follow it as you know as it moves forward.
Right.
But it's just a tragic, you know, it's been a tragic from day one. It just continues to get sadder and sadder as it goes on.
Right.
I mean, we're talking kids. Now, my question to the attorneys was, what is the punishment? You know, what happens to these two juveniles?
They're 11 and 10.
Right. We're talking about kids. I mean, do they stay in the youth detention center until they're a certain age? Do they read? I mean, I just don't know what the process is.
I don't know what the law is, and what the judge has to follow the law. So whatever he decides from there.
Apparently, the judge made a lot of comments. Like I said, we're not privy to that because we weren't in the courtroom. But you know, listening to the attorneys, the judge made several comments and showed his disgust what all took place. So that would have been interesting to be in courtroom to hear all that.
Yeah, it would have been.
We were just not privy to that information.
Well, if you want the facts, the truth on this story, you keep tuned into 105.5 FM. And that's what we do. We get to the official word from the sheriff's department, from the attorneys, from the DA's office, and all that. We present the facts, the truth. We've been in contact with the family and the family's attorneys, and we have all that. So we present the facts and truth. And just if that's what you want, that listen to 105.5 in our newscast and Butch and Bob show. It's just a tragedy situation. It's just a shame.
It's really sad.
And our thoughts and prayers go out to Noah's family and friends of Noah. They've been going through a lot the last couple of months.
So that funeral was tough to sit through.
Yeah.
It was tough. So, I mean, I said our hearts and prayers go out to that family because I can't imagine dealing with the loss of a child.
Yeah.
And going through all this process. So, but attorneys are involved now, so we'll see how it all plays out, and we'll see if these parents are charged eventually. You know, they said in the press release that the investigation continues as we await the completion of the enhancement of the videos obtained during this process. If there is incriminating information acquired from these videos, those implicated will be dealt with swiftly upon learning of their actions. So that basically states that there could possibly be more arrests and more charges.
You know, the DA's office, the sheriff's department, the DA's office, all have to get their ducks in a row to make sure they can present the truth and the facts and make sure they get everything right when they go to court. And that's what they've done so far. All right, Bob, we'll continue to follow the story. And I guess soon we'll get word on when that hearing's going to be, when they're going to, plead, and then go from there.
I believe that's the next step. I said they'll get with their attorneys. You know, There's always a plea bargain. There's always
stuff going on.
So you just don't know. But they say that the juvenile process moves a lot quicker than the adult criminal case. Yeah. So, like I said, that detention hearing. That was kind of a shock yesterday. You know, we get the press release when the charges are filed, and then next thing you know, we're being told there's a detention hearing that day. So,
yeah.
So you wonder how they got attorneys that quickly. So.
Heaven knows. All right. Well, keep up with the story here. Listening to 105.5, our local newscast and Butch and Bob show. Well, Bob, anything going on with the county, city governments, school board? Anything you want to talk about? Anything going on?
Well, they did have an announcement. We have a new EMS director, Patrick Parsons from Camden County. So again, we talked about the Monday night they requested, or the county administrator requested, that they adjust the salary for the full-time EMS director. That would help land a full-time candidate, and apparently it did. So his first day is August 1st. So that was big. Parsons, right,
from Camden County, is going to be the new EMS director.
Right.
Well, good. We'll welcome here to Jesup and Wayne County, and hope to have him on the Butch and Bob show once he gets settled in.
Right. But appreciate Paul Drawdy sending us that information yesterday. His first official day is August the 1st. So, but
Patrick Parsons, moving up in Camden.
All right,
county.
And I think the funeral for Bobby Kickletter is set for today again. He says in the press release, we're excited to see how Mr. Parsons builds on the legacy of the late Bobby Kickletter and Richard Johnson. I mean, Bobby Kickletter was EMS director for many, many
For a
years.
long time.
So he
From the
passed
beginning,
away
radically.
at the age of 91. Just a great guy.
Yeah, we had the obit yesterday.
So.
Or the day before, I think.
Yeah.
The day before.
It's a tough job, EMS director.
I know.
Can't imagine. And the school board's got that meeting Tuesday. We're waiting with, anticipation, see what happens there. Like I said, they're going to hopefully get an update on where they're going to go with the ag facility and the ROTC facility. And like I said, they turned down all those bids. So what's the next step there? And then, of course, did they pass a budget, or are going to be able to pass a budget? So find all that out Tuesday night.
Well, hopefully they'll be able to pass that budget and get things straight on the ROTC and the Ag Center, and then where all the other, what would be probably about $20 million goes, or more,
Still having a hard time wrapping my head around where that's $21 million CARES Act money. We bought a lot of hand sanitizer. I think
A lot of hand sanitizer.
That's all I'll say. Come on. I'm still shaking my head on that answer. So I still like to know where that $21 million went. Be nice
They've
today.
got somebody coming in that's supposed to be auditing everything, right? And who is that?
That's the former CFO, Tony Williams.
Coming back in. She's coming back
supposed
in
to help
look
them,
over
right.
everything so she can put it all down in black and white. People can understand what's happening. Okay. Put it in layman's terms. So you and I could even understand it, Bob. Yeah, we didn't graduate from the math school. We graduated from the Henry Grady School of Journalism, Radio, TV, Film. Not a lot of math going on in that building.
One math class in 4 years. That was
Me
it.
too.
I got an A.
You got an A, huh? Just for showing up, probably.
It was a pretty easy course.
1 + 1 is 2.
That's right. I don't think there was any algebra or geometry involved.
Oh boy, that was rough in high school. I don't know if I ever took geometry. I may have. I know I took algebra.
Did you take
I did not ever take calculus. I know
Calculus?
that. I think it was just algebra and geometry.
That was a tough class.
I never took calculus. No. Never did. It's just some things certain people's brains could just not comprehend and understand, But you made it through calculus in high school, huh?
I did, barely.
Barely, huh?
Yeah, I think it was a C minus.
Well, you got at least in the C's.
My parents weren't happy.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever used any calculus since you graduated high school?
No.
Not once. Huh?
No.
You used any geometry since you graduated high school?
I never used it at college.
Did you ever use any algebra after you graduated high school?
No, not that I know
Well,
of.
you've got to expose the students to them because they may see an area they may want to go in by being exposed to the different disciplines out there. So you've got to give a good rounded education to the high school students in middle school and high school to see where they want to develop.
In fact, when my advisor at UGA told me I only had to take one math class, I was like, thank God.
You get students that are really good in calculus and geometry and algebra, really good A's. They're going to places like Tech. You get ones who are challenged in that area, and they go to University of Georgia like you and me, where it's a little different.
Crazy.
But they have a lot of colleges up there at university now where you do have to use a lot of math.
Right.
Yeah, but we just didn't have to at Henry Grady School. I didn't have to. Had to be good at writing, reporting, I don't know. My degree was in radio, TV, film. My major was radio, TV, film with the Grady School. What was yours?
Mine was broadcast journalism.
Broadcast. So yours more journalism. I had to take journalism classes. We had to do, radio news. We had to do TV news. We had to make films, which was very interesting to do because I'd never made a film before, and had to do all that. My minor was in marketing management. What was your minor in?
Political science.
Political science. So you were getting ready for a career in news, in sports, broadcasting.
Yeah. I knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah, and I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to get that education there and from the Grady School and take minor in marketing management because I knew I wanted to get out and start working at radio stations to at news and then sales and then general manager, part owner, and I've done all that.
The best move was, like I said, I first thought I'd get into, I wrote for my student newspaper, so I, went up there trying to get on the red and black and never got a call. And then finally a friend of mine in the hallway said, why don't you just go to the radio station, go work? And so walked up there and boom, like I said, they needed people to, I'll never forget it, 3 a.m. to 6 a.m.
3 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Spinning records.
Well, I did the same thing for
I don't
WJSR.
I don't think anybody listened, but
yeah.
I saw.
My morning.
That's how it started, though.
Yeah, you started there on that because you started there 5 years after I did. I was already gone before you got there. But mine was for WJSR, Rockin' 104, and I was on from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m.
And luckily, my buddy Hondo Williamson, who was up there at the time,
I know.
He said, "Are you having fun spinning?" I said, "Heck no." He said, well, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to get to say." So, like I said, he got me into sports and started doing the games for the. I said that station did the girls varsity basketball games and did the college baseball games, and that's how I got into the play-by-play and found my niche, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. Still going strong.
But I had a good time.
Okay.
Some great memories.
No, I never did work at the college radio station. I worked for WJSR, Rockin' 104. It was actually 104.7, I think, or whatever. I can't remember. So long ago. But it's Rockin' 104, I know that. Yeah. Played rock and roll music. That was fun.
That 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. shift was tough.
Yeah, our studio was right downtown above the old cinema, downtown cinema there. The studios were upstairs. So I'd park there. I'd get off the air at 8 o'clock, and I'd just walk across the street there and through the arch and down to journalism school or the rest of the colleges around there for the classes I had, and then come back there and get my car and go to Callaway Garden Apartments. Did you live on campus the entire time?
Yep.
You did? The whole time?
Hall. Yeah, 4 years. Yep.
Wow. What halls were you in?
Millage.
The Millage the whole time?
All 4 years.
Well, I started off the first quarter.
Same floor, same room.
It's just like it here in this apartment. You've lived in 2 apartments since...
I'm a creature of habit, Butch.
1977.
I don't like change.
Lived in 2 apartments total since 1977.
I don't like change.
Apparently. All right, folks. Can anybody beat Bob? Living in 2 locations, 2 apartments from 1977 until he gets here to Jesup in 81, and then from 81 to now in the same apartment. That's absolutely amazing. Yeah. I was out at I went to Russell Hall, my first one. It was one of the newer complexes then. And then after that, I transferred my second semester to Reed Hall, which was great because it was right across the street from the journalism school, Henry Grady. And it was right in the center of everything. The student center was right next door. The library was right there up the hill and all that. So, but then I went out to Callaway Garden Apartments in my junior year. My senior year, I was in family housing because I was married then. So I was different locations up there. 2 locations you've lived since 1977. All right. I have no idea what that says. Leanne just handed somebody says, "Oh, Leanne, this is for you." Leanne says she's moved 23 times. How could you even keep up with that? Counted. You counted? Yep. Leanne has lived, she's only, what, 48? Is that right? 43. 43, excuse me. I know.
Don't add 5 years.
She's only 43 years old. And
she's moved how many times?
23 times.
Good.
She don't let grass grow under her feet.
She must know how to pack pretty good.
Or she don't have much. What to do?
I couldn't imagine that.
I know. Jeez. Well, folks, you probably learned more about me and Bob and Leanne you really wanted to know, but it's our show. We'll do what we want. All right, Bob, have a good day.
Okay.
All right, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup has been brought to you by O'Quinn & Associates, Murphy Builder Supply, Van's Barbecue, and First Southern Bank.